It takes no time to enter the timeless. It is always here, as our supernatural state of being, yet totally unknown to the chattering mind process. The time-bound false self. The voice in the head and the deceiver of innocent spirits. Let's begin this adventure. The dream within the timeless story coming up. A mirage squeezed into a shape and form. It might be seen as long ago within the limitations of that mind process. The human that has forgotten the being part of itself. And thus 99% of its true identity. Zooming in. Our track record affords us entry to the exclusive upper floor of this Trottier establishment. Downstairs a workaday restaurant. Upstairs a celebrity hideout complete with the whisper of those connected entourages of the famous. Wives and girlfriends. Or high-class groupies on the prowl and pretty actresses working their way into the Hollywood dream. Serving circular table-sized pizzas to such stars of the firmament as the Stones or Led Zeppelin. We enjoyed the attention too. But we're here to find a drummer, and right there as the cameras rolled, the drummer found us. In that time-bound chatter stream, ruled by passing time. And with our time-bound tickets timing out, the magnetism of our intentions pushed us into being in the right place at the right time. The place. The foyer of the Upper Rainbow. Keith in brief chatter with that same Zeppelin and former Yardbirds manager. Then, another presence comes into shot. Just behind them. Emerging from the crowded space holding those personalities waiting to be shown to their tables. Bobby Caldwell said. Keith turns around and there he is. A kismet moment and enter the drummer. Bobby's credentials were impressive, a dynamically technical, explosive drummer with the Johnny Winter Band, the Allman Brothers and Captain Beyond. Through this he still had connections with the giant Warner Bros. Empire. He was a martial arts adept too. Hence the Bruce Lee illusion. He was part of the famous Jim Kelly karate school and also friends with Bruce Lee's widow. Characters in a story can live only at the writer's behest. And even then the skills of one storyteller Don T make for the whole picture. We've all seen the rolling credits. On and on they go. Scrolling from stars to supporting cast through gaffers and key grips to composers and artists, the gathering components in a time machine of Dreamcast cogs in ever-turning wheels from cart horse to Cadillacs. And beyond. I had completely forgotten about the tickets. Being in the zone has no geographical features. Home is home. Destiny is kismet. If you upstairs at the Rainbow. You carry a pot of gold in your pocket, but does all gold glitter? Armed with Peter Frampton's recommendations. And our own past comet trails in that mirage of outer space reality. The now complete band cruise into the parking lot. Our beat-up old Chevy parked nonchalantly next to the limos of the Carpenters. George Harrison, Herb Alpert and other galacticos of this rainbow dream. The dance pulled the cameras along into the office of the man Peter Frampton suggested I connect with, honing in now. There he is behind a large room-width oak desk, smiling and welcoming us into his secure domain. To a backdrop of calming sounds of birdsong and rolling ocean waves. Bob Garcia. Artists. Relations Manager. We are at A&M Records. Location Charlie Chaplin's old Hollywood studios. On La Brea Avenue, now home to a bustling independent record label. Strange and wonderful juxtapositions all around us. Herb Alpert rehearsing his Tijuana brass in one corner studio somewhere. Herb was the A of A&M. And here we were in a dreamland of stark contrasts. Charlie might have been silently astonished at what United Artists had morphed into, but here we were. Ticketless. Raw and ready. Kismet. Rewards courage. I was unaware of either presence. But it carried us all the same through machinations of time wheels, so fleeting I can hardly find words, but here goes. Cue my get-out-of-jail-free card. Let's go cinematic. Bob takes one look, so much hair. Charisma. Next scene. On the back of a couple of rehearsals with Bobby. Storm the Citadel and, courtesy of a well-charmed Bob Garcia. We are now in the now. jamming on Charlie's old soundstage to a quickly gathered assembly of dignitaries. Headed by Jerry Moss. The M of A&M. Closing parenthesis, comma. All smiles. We are rolling. On track records and a few scraps of embryonic music we brought with us from England. A gentleman's agreement. The soundstage is ours. To fashion a rainbow into gold. Dream into substance. A word like so many in our human tongues, spoken but rarely understood. And as irony has it, that's exactly what it means. Literally, Sabunda and stance, and do we all get it? Do we understand substance? In the dream substance. I remember, the Carpenters. Twin number plates now. Loftily presenting the substantial illusion of ephemeral success, KC1RC1. There we are. Parked right next door. Deeply embedded now within the chaotic heart of the Hollywood dream. But in my own heart. The faintest whisper it. S.A. mirage. Things are hotting up. All moving so quickly. The whisper reverberating around the rainbow, now a new supergroup in the making, about to make it again. A much later extract from the spiritual diary of a rock star. Shortly after Keith Relf's passing, the original members of Renaissance came back together to honor his inspired idea. To create more of the unique music that arose from our first collaboration. 7 years earlier, we had passed on our legacy to an excellent second generation of Renaissance that carried on to realize our dream. With much success. It was in Keith's honor the new band chose the name, Illusion. To bring to fruition his inspired dream of a reunion with the music and musicians close to his heart. I felt his spirit ever living, and present with us as the music flowed into shape and form. Adding 2 more musicians to help manifest a powerful new, but still our own, original sound. Summer 1976. Preparation for Illusion. S debut album. Out of the Mist was progressing well. Soon to record it and take another realized dream on the road. But what of the other twin? I could see clearly now that the visions were all threading together. From the first hint of that mysterious unknown force that had so mystified a seasoned clairvoyant back in London, to the Sausalito shockwave awakening, and then the desert trips and subsequent meditations with Keith Relf that had served to unearth the deep longing in both of us. Keith's last songs bore testimony to it all, written when we were sharing an A&M Records courtesy apartment in Chelsea, West London. We would often switch on his tape recorder and just let it roll, to see if the magic was there. 2 of the songs mentioned here are among the ones we kept. One was my own composition, later called Louis Theme. I played a bass chord sequence one night, and Keith sung just one line to it. LM looking for a place to stay. After his death I completed the lyrics, starting with Keith's A Place to Stay. I didn't want to leave him searching for that place forever, so I visualized him in a still silent place of golden light, in ecstasy and freed eternally from all his worldly struggles. I have held that vision for him ever since. So this was the dream that his physical death could not tear us away from, where our illusion and truth came face to face, to be realized. Keith wrote the lyrics to what was to be one of his most memorable songs in those ominously eventful final 2 years of his life. Our spiritual and worldly paths echoing silently before us. ARMAGEDDONS Legacy, the 50-year slow burner. The song was Silver Tightrope, a haunting theme that stands in complete contrast to the other Armageddon tracks. It unfolds here. Martin Pugh plays a descending chord sequence on guitar and Keith sings. I add a bass line further into the song as the music begins to gather momentum, and then dips into a serene extended dream sequence inspired by my love of Eric Satie's classic Gymnopédie 1. Martin plays the Satie chord sequence and I play a bowed bass melody over it. We add a 16-bar progression for the bass melody to complete its journey, as the dream sequence lulls to a split-second rest, where the silence holds the frequency for the rousing finale. Bobby Caldwell's dynamic drum intro bursts into life, and we are all in together. To the glory of Keith's cry for freedom. The lyrics riding the waves of each musician's surrender to be in the zone where the spirit of the music flows through the player. He cried out the lyrics. We played on through dried tears. I would say now, on his behalf, that Silver Tightrope is far and away the song that he poured his heart and soul into. A life purpose evolving, eternally alive in those words that were later to become his epitaph. As I see it now, when listening to our epic song again, it was much more than an album track. It was Armageddon, with all the challenges seeming insurmountable by then. This was not the time to hold back. It was brave, a powerful longing, a prayer for freedom, for peaceful transcendence from worldly struggles, an ode to courage. It had to be really. This is Armageddon after all, not a band, or a time for the faint-hearted. So onwards, autumn 1976. The twin passions swept me along at lightning speed. Illusion, gathering further momentum amid whispers in circulation of interest from several record labels. The buzz from our rehearsals in Richmond even got the full B treatment one day, when as we finished a long session and were about to down tools, someone mentioned putting in a classical music cameo, like we had originally performed on the first Renaissance album. In that instance it had been part of a Beethoven symphony that John Hawken knew by heart. John, a fantastic rock and roll pianist too, gave it a brief moment as thought and then said something like, "How about this?" Probably with a cheeky smile, and then burst into the Bee Bumble and the Stingers spoof version of Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker, Nut Rocker. Such fun. And in no time it had gathered nutty bombshells of momentum. I played the descending bass notes in unison with John, our speciality, and our guitarist, John Knightsbridge, picked up the guitar part, all from memory. Our drummer, Eddie McNeil, drummed along while singers Jim McCarty and Jane Relf were in tearful fits of laughter. Why we didn't put it on the album I will never know, but it did make its way into the live set. It was fun, and who doesn't love that childlike, joyful state of natural being? Playfulness. The pure, joyful expression that all children are born with, and for. And adults are more often than not deprived of by the all-too normal madness of taking life too seriously. So with my healer hat firmly in place now, a heart-centered reminder, if we squeeze the joy out of life, the heart contracts, the brain is starved of love, and the vital life force departs. No flow, no go, no ease means disease. Let's go with the flow then. Nut Rocker traveled with us, and when we played it live, from the smallest club gig to the grandest concert halls, even the Royal Albert Hall, where we performed it on 2 occasions, it would align itself with the childlike joy of audiences on both of the nationwide tours that were just ahead in the dream. As seen from here in my nest in the sky, watching the movie from the ever-present, where the illusion of passing time gives way to the wholeness, our true awakened state, where everything is ever present, as Eckhart Tolle might say it, in the most beautiful, simple tones. Life is now it. As always, now is the eternal present moment. There is only ever now. Thanks to the Armageddon family and community.